Hi, I'm Kyle Shubel, a producer on Genji, Dawn of the Samurai with Sony America. We are bringing this title in from Japan. This is being done by Game Republic, which is Okamoto-san's new company after he left Capcom. They do have about 4 or 5 different titles that they're working on right now, but this will be their flagship product. I'm going to show you a brief demo here real quick of the gameplay that we're showing here at E3. I'm going to go ahead and start this off real quick. I'll give you the story in a moment, but I'm going to show you the Mind's Eye demo on the screen here. This is a new feature that we've got going on the game, where we basically have a bullet time-esque kind of fighting sequence where you can do slow time fighting with a sword. Kind of a neat feature. I'll cover that again when we get actually into gameplay. Genji, Dawn of the Samurai is based loosely on the Tale of Genji, which is considered by most to be the first piece of fiction written by man. It was written in the 11th century Heian era of Japan, written in the noble courts. We're taking some liberal changes to it, being that it's a 1,300-page book that most of us probably haven't read. What you've got here is the interface to show you how to get through the world. I'm going to go ahead and go up to the first area here and show some bad guys while I tell you a bit more of the story. You're going to be playing as Yoshitsune through most of the game. He is the illegitimate son of the emperor, hence why he has some of his above-natural powers. We also are adding in an aspect of the Amahagane, which is a divine stone that bestows supernatural powers on its owner. You've got basically a number of sword fighting skills that you can exploit here. You've got just normal attacks, but you can also get these special attacks. Oh, you can get stabbed in the back like that too. But effectively, you've got a very nice motion capture system in here. Ken Watanabe's stunt double from The Last Samurai was actually used for much of the sword fighting motion capture in the game. As you can see, we've got a number of cut sequences here. There'll be over an hour of FMV in the game. We are keeping the original Japanese voiceovers in there because we didn't feel that we could do it justice, having almost a cheesy kung fu film kind of bad lip syncing. So you'll have the original Japanese voiceover and then a English subtitle on it. Kind of keeps a very traditional feel to it. But you do have this fighting style is basically taken loosely off of a concept called tate, which is the relationship between the person giving the cut and the person receiving the cut. That is something, it's more of a cinematic gesture that most people expect from feature films rather than from video games. To my knowledge, it hasn't been done to date on a video game. So what we're doing here is you'll actually see that the characters will react to the way I'm attacking them and generate a better cut, which is almost like out of a feature film. Saike-san was consulted on this tate style. He has done a dozen+ movies in Japan, so much of the sword fighting that you're used to seeing in films, almost like a Kurosawa-esque fighting. You can fight multiple opponents. You'll have 8 to 12 on the screen at a time. You'll be able to bounce all over the place. I'm actually going to pick this up real quick here. As you can see, you do have items, so you do have an RPG style to the game, where you can actually build up your character, gain levels, get more abilities. You will be able to play as an additional character called Benkei, who is a warrior monk character. He's basically a big bruiser, almost like a Paul Bunyan character for Japan. What you can probably easily refer to this as, it's almost like the story of King Arthur for the Japanese. We've got a very fantastical character. He is fictional, but he has some basis in reality. The reason why we call it the Dawn of the Samurai, he's considered by many to be the first samurai as we entered into the era of Bushido in the way of the warrior. You just saw me level up there. That's going to show you some of the aspects where we can actually go and look at your character, where you get the different statistics. You got different equipment that you can equip, armor that you can gain, etc. going through the game. Going to show you one of the bosses here real quick. Now, as you're going through the story, most of it will be fighting, or the beginning portions will be fighting against humanoid opponents, which we can all relate to. Ah, that's not the right way. Later on in the game, you'll actually progress into the more dark areas of the game, where you're actually fighting demons and such, and getting into the more supernatural, which lends itself well to that Amahagane aspect that we're bringing in. This is one of the boss characters. This is a bad guy who has an Amahagane of his own, so he's got some of the same superpowers that you've got. So I'm going to go ahead and clear some of his goons out of the way first. All right. Find it very difficult to talk while I'm carving through this guy, so I'm going to try and get rid of him, dispatch him quickly. All right, come on. You know you want to lay down, just get it over with. There we go. So basically you can take down the bosses by gathering their Amagane, you can gain more power as you progress through the story, and pretty much that is the tale of Genji.